When painting your car at home, the difference between a repair that looks professional and one that really stands out is the blend. And this is where a lot of beginners and even professionals can struggle. It's not necessarily hard, but there are a few key steps that make a huge difference. And if you miss them, the repair is going to stand out every time. So in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through step by step the entire process of preparing and painting your vehicle. And be sure to stay till the end because I'm going to give you some tips and techniques that I use to help you get a flawless finish in your clear coat. As always, we're spraying this in an open garage with no paint booth, with budget-friendly clear and budget-friendly paint, just like you would use at home. Darius is doing a fantastic job masking this off, getting it ready for paint. Here's a couple tips for you. We're not really talking about masking today, but if you are masking a vehicle off, you always want to start from the inside out. Mask off the jams first, open the doors, mask them off, shut the doors, and then you can do the outside. So he's back taping the perimeter. We're covering it with plastic. We're going to cut out the area that we're going to be painting, and we'll be ready to go. All right, we are ready to spray down some base coat. Darius did a real nice job of masking this off. He's got it all nice and tight. We put foam tape in the jams. He's going to wash this with isopropyl alcohol. And then just before we spray it, we're going to tack cloth it off with a sticky tack cloth right here. We'll wipe it down, remove any dust particles that have landed on the surface, and then we'll spray our base. We've got a couple little breakthrough areas right here. This is where we repaired that scratch. Okay, no primer on it, we don't need it, and a couple up here. So I'll walk you through how to blend this and how to clear, so you can have all the information you need if you're doing a repair like this at home. And we're spraying an open garage, no paint booth, with a low volume, low pressure paint gun, the PRD 510 by Porpoise. Darius is saying he hates how it looks smudged and everything like this, and for years that would bug the crap out of me, and I would wipe it down, try and get rid of that, but once you sand it, it's gonna look like that. But when you paint it and clear it, that all goes away. So just understand that if you're new to painting. Let's talk about what we're gonna do before we spray our base coat that's really gonna help you if you're doing this at home, get a perfect blend. If you got a high, fine metallic finish that can be difficult to blend, like a gray or even this color here, may not be the worst, but silver's terrible, gold's terrible. You wanna use a color blender or what they call a wet bed. I picked this up on Amazon. It's Speed Coat Color Blender. All it is clear base coat, meaning there's no color in it. It's just the binder. So the binder is what binds the colors together, but if you don't have any color with it, it makes a great wet bed. So when we spray our base, those metallics are gonna lay nice and flat and uniform in this wet bed. There's no need to reduce this. It's a thick product though, so I reduce it about 5%, but you can spray it right out of the can. But I'm gonna go ahead and reduce this a little bit, and we'll spray a coat of color blender on here, and then we'll go right back over it with our blend. All right, so we got our Segola cups, disposable cups here. Put a liner in. I won't need a whole lot. And then we'll reduce it. Just maybe 5%. It doesn't have to get scientific. Just to thin it out so it's not quite as thick. Darius has got it wiped down now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and spray this on it, and then we'll do a quick blend. We'll get our first coat right after we spray this. While it's still wet, I'll put my first coat on, okay? Lock the lid down, make sure it's sealed. For the blender, we're just gonna use the Innocraft Drizzle Pro, about 15 PSI. We don't want to get our blend out too far, right? We're not going to need a lot of paint here. Yeah, I saw that. Okay. So I'm going to start like this. See how I've got my wrist tilted? And we're going to blend into it. A couple little spots here where we burn through. That's the first coat. We'll let it set up a little bit, and we'll put on our second coat. So when we're blending out, what we want to avoid is getting a bunch of paint out here. We want that paint just to kind of mist. We want a light coat to fall onto that wet bed out here. So when you look at it, it looks like it's a smooth transition. Even though the color might be a shade off, the transition is not detectable with your eye. So that's what we're looking for. And since I have color over here, I'm gonna do this whole area with the color. I'll cover this whole area with the color, and we'll just blend it out both ways and let the overspray fall into the wet bed. We don't want it to be too dry though when it falls in there. That could create sand piling, making it a rough surface out here. You don't want any of that. And actually, we could put another coat of wet bed on this before we spray our next coat of base. I'll do that just to show you guys how it works. And that's gonna help prevent you from getting a dry area here in your blend.
You don't have to do this, but it's going to help you get a real nice blend. Plus we got extra blender in here anyway. So there's a little breakthrough there we're going to do. Now I'm going to go at an angle, okay? I'm going to go this way. And when I get to the end, I turn my wrist. Now, I think that's pretty good, but we're going to probably put one more coat on it. Let's look at it with this light. There was a spot right here, and there was some spots right here. I feel like one more dust coat. Just to be safe. To me, it looks like it's all covered, but we'll put what we call drop coat on it, and I'll show you how we do that. You'll see it. Look it. See it right there? All right, so we'll put one more coat on, then we'll put a drop coat on it. We're gonna let it dry. Do a drop coat where I just move a little bit farther away. Now we'll let it sit up and see if we can see it next time.
While we're waiting for that to flash off, we're gonna mix up some clear. All right, we're gonna use the Finish One FC710 right here, spot panel clear coat. It's 4:1 mixing ratio. So we find the 4:1 right there. We're gonna put the amount of clear we want in, 4, and then we'll go to the 1 column and we'll fill it up to the 4 with reducer. And that's how you use these cups. Or activator, I'm sorry. That would be bad if you filled it up with reducer. And we're gonna use a slow activator. Lock it in, make sure it's sealed.
I got the fluid volume wide open, and I narrowed the fan pattern back half a turn. So I opened it up all the way and then narrowed it back half a turn. And the air pressure, 30 psi. 30 psi. All right, ready?
Now we're laying down the first coat of clear, but when you're laying down your first coat of clear, you don't need the first coat to be absolutely perfect. There's a couple things you want to remember. You want to overlap your passes about 80%. So once you make a pass, go over that pass about 80%, and that'll give you good coverage in your clear coat, help you get a nice uniform finish in your clear coat. So we talked a little bit about the gun settings before I started spraying, but just so you know, there's no perfect gun setting. There's gonna be variables, and there's gonna change depending on the gun that you're using, the materials that you're using, and the air temperature. Now, typically, these are good gun settings to start with. About 30 PSI. I like to have my fluid volume 2.5 to 3 turns open. So we close it all the way, and then we open it up 2.5 to 3 turns. That's a good starting point. A lot of guys will teach to start with your fluid volume wide open. I'd rather see you adjust your fluid volume and open it up as you spray if you need it. Because to be honest with you, beginners, they tend to spray very slow. Because they're very timid when they start spraying their clear coat. And if you're going slow, you don't want a lot of fluid coming out of that gun, because you're going to run it. You're going to put a lot of material on it. It's going to cause orange peel, or else you're going to run it. As far as the fan pattern, typically I like to have that pretty much wide open. I might narrow it back just like a quarter of a turn. After spraying your first coat, it's important to let your clear coat flash off for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what the technical data sheet says. The reason you're letting it flash off is it allows those chemicals to evaporate out of the clear. So then when you spray another coat of clear on, you're not trapping any chemicals underneath the second coat, because that can cause solvent pops and cause issues. Spraying clear is really not that difficult, but there's like 4 things you need to remember. You need to have your air pressure right, your fluid volume, your speed, and your distance. Your speed and your distance have a direct effect on how that clear coat's going to lay down. If you're too close, you're going to get too much material on that panel. You're going to run it. If you're too far away, it's going to be too dry, and you're going to have dry spots. So very important, and you can adjust how your clear coat is laying down just by adjusting your speed and your distance. So be consistent in your speed and your distance. Have an air pressure setting that you feel comfortable with, that is laying down a nice finish, and you want to evaluate that clear as it's laying down. So you look at it in the light and you see how it's laying down. Now, after you spray down your clear, it's going to flow out a little bit, so it might look a little heavy, but it will flow out just a little bit, and it could smooth out. All clears are going to flow out just a little bit differently. Some clears are a little thinner. They flow out much more than other clears. Now, this particular clear here, the FC710, is a spot panel clear, so it's designed to dry quickly and to set up quickly. So because of that, it doesn't really flow out like typical clears. I would suggest doing some small jobs first, spraying some clear coat, doing some test panels, getting a feel for how that clear lays down, what distance you need to be at, and what speed you like to spray at. But it's really not that difficult. And if you need some more information on how to spray clear, like a digital guide that walks you through the step-by-step process, I have those available at garagenoisegear.com, along with digital guides on other topics. I'm really happy with how this blend came out. It came out perfect. Now, I did pick up a couple little runs in this panel that we're going to have to cut and buff out. Maybe I'll make a video on that. I have other videos on how to remove runs if you do get one, and be sure to check those out on the channel. If you like this kind of information, if you found it helpful, leave me a comment down below, and be sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Garage Noise. Listen, if you want to learn more about paint and body repair, click on this video now. Peace.